This podcast is brought to you by Penji. Penji is a creative subscription service that gives you access to pre-vetted, agency-trained creatives from all over the world. From graphic design to illustrations to social media management and web development, it's all included for one monthly price. It's time to say goodbye to the hassle of searching for top-notch creative talent. With Penji, you get quality and consistency delivered right to your inbox every day, carefully crafted for you by humans. So meet your new creative team today. Head over to penji.co for more and enter the coupon code located within the podcast show notes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fully Managed by Penji podcast, the podcast where we discuss marketing and business tips to help assist you on your business journey. I'm your host, Shannon, Penji's partnership coordinator, and I'm joined here today with a very special guest.
Have the core of mobile apps that's kind of come to us, and we do mobile growth still for some amazing brands in the US. But we're also getting into kind of more of the digital transformation projects, whereby companies which are a bit I a bit early, I'd say, in terms of their digital adoption, come to us, and we really build the infrastructure, the website, everything they need to succeed in digital marketing, and kind of give them that holistic solution for everything they need. So more of a digital transformation solution, so to speak.
That's great. It's really great that you have been able to adapt from having kind of a specific thing that you do from the beginning, but realizing that clients needed something more and being able to adjust to that and also learn more throughout the process.
Yeah, it's definitely grown from the needs of our clients, and what we saw the marketplace needs when we started. Influencer marketing wasn't even existent, um, and nowadays it's probably one of our fastest growing services. So it's a very dynamic space, marketing and digital marketing, especially. So we try and keep up to date with all the changes.
That's really good. Yeah, I think that agencies that do their best are ones that are able to adapt to ad- the adjusting world, I would say. I mean, the world is constantly changing, marketing is constantly changing, so it's always good to be able to kind of adjust and pivot to be able to do what's required and what people are looking for. So that's really nice.
Yeah.
So something I was curious about is one, how did you come up with your name? And also your logo. I like the logo, so I was wondering how you came up with
Thank you.
that.
So I'll start off with the name. The name, at the time, burst campaign was quite a common tactic to do mobile marketing. So essentially, it would drive a lot of traffic in a short amount of time, um, and then that would create a surge in installs, and that rank an app higher, and then that would kind of propagate a viral effect of people seeing that an app is ranked in the top charts, downloading, and so on and so forth. So it's essentially mobile burst and kind of combined. Our logo went through a few transitions. We actually started off with a slingshot. Different
Ah.
app to the it was really bad. And,
I kind of like that.
and the concept is nice, but yeah, when we started speaking and dealing with US clients, like they didn't really get it, especially us coming from Israel, and my co-founder and I actually met in the army, so it has all that background of that. So we shifted to this kind of nice element. Uh, some call it a kite, some I don't know, but basically it's something we've adapted a bit throughout the years. Every color we kind of like to think of it as a line of services, so product and media and organic. We've kind of developed it. So if you had a chance to go into our website, we have like different time mods with different there's a nice animation our team did going like into our logo and all the different services I think we're very happy where it landed today.
That's good. That's cool. So it's all of the elements kind of combined into the logo. I like that. That's very unique. So speaking of your website, I noticed there was a category for media buying. Is something that I don't really see a lot on marketing agencies' websites. Can you kind of explain what this encompasses and what kind of work it is?
Yeah. So media, yeah, it has, I think, many different names. Um, we basically run ads for and everything and anything. And I think one of our uh, specialties is really the know-how we have within the mobile space specifically. So all the nuances. So obviously, with when thinking about advertising, kind of probably Google and Meta and Apple are the few names that come to mind, and then TikTok and a bunch of other social networks. But there's actually thousands of mobile networks outside of the kind of self-reporting networks. Um, I think one of the things through all the years we've worked with different clients is really finding the right mix of where actually to showcase an app or a product to get the right type of users. Uh, so we obviously work with all the big ones as well, but I think also looking beyond that and looking on where might the audience be. Influencer marketing, for instance, is something where um, it's more considered to be kind of a top of funnel branding, but we actually kind of treat it as another media channel and look at the statistics of every influencer. How does their audience look like? How many users are actually engaging and not just following? And through that, really look at the performance of every post, how many views, and kind of down the funnel, what it actually did. So, uh, through that kind of performance oriented approach, I think we were able to develop a methodology of how to run ads, which is much more sophisticated than let's run your app or product on Google or Facebook. But let's look at it more holistically. Let's look at the creative. Let's look at the product. Actually, we actually help many of our clients with what happens after they download the app. What's the onboarding experience like? Maybe we need to work on that to make sure that the money being spent is actually driving real users that will use your app. So really trying to look at um, the all the services and all the marketing for them holistically. But media buying at the end of the day is probably the most common way to drive traffic and users.
It's good that there's like a personal approach to that because I think a lot of agencies will have almost a template for these. And if you don't personalize it, you might be missing this target audience that you're kind of looking for. And if you're not familiar with that field or that specific category of media, or say, I don't know, it's something that you no experience or don't consume yourself, then it's really difficult to get the outcome that they're looking for if you don't um consider all those factors. So it's good that you're doing that.
Yeah, and I think with um, especially like with all the recent changes in privacy in recent years with Apple rolling out. So it really has become more complex for, the average advertiser to really understand what's going on, because there are a lot of nuances of how to track and how to monitor and kind of best practices um, that you need to do in order to really drive a good return on your ad spend. So um, I think taking that data driven approach with the holistic view I spoke to earlier is what I think is key to succeed today.
Do you think that this approach is kind of what sets you aside from other agencies that do similar work to you, or do you think that there's other elements of your agency that um is unique to you and caters better results than kind of your competitors?
Yeah, I think like we like to um to think about our work as kind of art meets science, and I think that our team also kind of represents that mix. We have um the folks which are, you know, more of the analyst running media or doing after optimization analysis and optimization. And on the other hand, we have the more creative folks which write or design or write and or create video anime. And I think combining kind of the best of both worlds and making sure that you get that creative spark, because at the end of the day, there are so many ads around us, especially on when we're on mobile or on web. So how to get people to actually look and see you're there and consider checking out your app or your product. Um, and but then also kind of tying that in with the data. So I think yeah, I think that holistic approach and the data driven approach is how we try to differentiate ourselves today.
Great. So, how have you been? Okay, so you said that you kind of adapted to what your customer needed and kind of added these elements to your agency that the market was looking for. How were you able to almost seamlessly add these to your agency? Like, how have you been able to grow since then without kind of overloading your team, making sure that there's a good balance between this? Did you have any kind of specific strategy for moving forward with that?
Yeah, that's it's definitely been through a lot of trial and error. Um, I think we've there the way that we see it, there's basically two ways to add additional capabilities. You either build it yourself, um, which means hire people that come with some outside knowledge, or kind of people try and extend the current folks you have, and we've been very lucky to to hire and work with some amazing talent that helped us build these new services. And the other is obviously acquiring an agency which already has that service up and running. And we when we're doing these types of M&As, we're also looking for uh, founders which, you know, want to stick with us for the long run and build like help and continue build the service and the agency at large. Um, Regarding like what um, specific opportunities, I feel like the digital space, as we talked about earlier, so many opportunities. There's, you know, so many new things. Now, obviously, AI is a big buzzword, and everybody's trying to incorporate that. But um, there's so many things going on and so many opportunities. I think it's not uh, finding what to do. It's what to focus on and what not to do. Uh, so it's through trial and error and through like what we see our clients need. That has been something that that we were always thinking about better ways to serve our clients. We're seeing what our clients are asking us. Um, for instance, we're getting asked by our clients if we do PR. So we're now in the process of, you know, looking to acquire a PR agency to add that capability. So that's kind of how we go about adding additional capabilities to the agency.
Is there ever a time where you said trial and error, so, has there been a time where you've tried to implement something that maybe just wasn't a good fit? And what do you do from there? Do you try again, like, a different strategy of implementing it, or do you kind of, forget it and move on to the next thing?
Um, Yeah, I think it really depends. In our early days, for sure, we've done so many. Like we are both very uh, um, entrepreneurs in mind, and try to, you know, throw darts in so many ways. We invested in a startup in our early days, and try to become a publisher, an app publisher, and all these kinds of things where through that we learned, okay, what we do and do well is like a service business. So we kind of let's focus on that. So that was an important one. And then in terms of what actually works, um, I think we've developed through the years a framework whereby we really measure everything in terms of what our, the team is reporting time against clients and projects. So we know how we're spending our time on the one hand. We know what clients are paying for, and we kind of make sure we're we're profitable as an agency, and that's our the project, the time, the projects and types of projects we bring on are profitable, and try to learn kind of, okay, why would this more profitable, or why did this not work? And that's how we also treat services. Like if there's a service where we see we're we're consistently losing, or kind of not matching the business. So we're trying to understand, are we bringing the right types of clients? Maybe the offering is not right, maybe the pricing. So I think it took us a long time to hone in on that more uh, businessy way of looking on like everything, looking at the agency as a product at the end of the day. Like you can think about each of our services as a product, and then think of the different P&Ls, and really just trying to make sure that every piece in itself works, and that the whole product, the whole machine works together. So it's, I think, a constant heart of making sure everything is aligned, that we have the right staff, we're hiring on time, we have the right number of employees, and a lot of checks and balances. So yeah, I think that's where we invested a lot, and have a team and an infrastructure in place to kind of uh, monitor and have all these checks and balances in place. But I feel that, as the agency grows, there's only more. There's more to do and more opportunities to get better.
It's good that you're able to navigate all of these different avenues of going down, because I think that's something that a lot of agencies really struggle with, is trying to not only adjust to a changing system, but also kind of figuring out what works and what doesn't. And trial and error is certainly a way to be doing it, but I think it's very difficult for people to do. So I think that it's really a testament to being able to not only survive through that process, but thrive. So that's really great.
Yeah, and I feel that you can, like, today in the digital age, you can test ideas relatively cheap and quick, like, to throw out a landing page, or in our case, like, we get hundreds of leads, of inbound leads a month. So to try the pitch in different ways and see like what resonates with clients, and what gets them excited, and what not. So it's kind of constantly A/B testing, and it's really changes throughout through the years. The types of services, what are clients excited about, what is the current buzzword that everyone is looking for. And many times we're kind of, we can give you that service, but that's not the case. That's not what your brand specifically needs. So I think uh, uh, having that perspective to be able to serve the clients, and adapt to what they need. But on the other hand, being true enough to say, we can take your money, but it's not what's right for your brand. You need to work on your product. You need to work on your app store listing, or whatnot.
So how are you able to maintain clients' happiness, and not only at the end product, but also during the process? Like, do you have a specific communication style that you kind of implement during that? Or I don't know, I guess, what's your
Yeah.
strategy for dedicated?
So I know that many agencies there's basically two different ways that I know of how clients manage. It's either the person who does the work is actually running the client, and that becomes more complicated once you do many different services, because then there's, a bunch of different people speaking to the same client. So we early on kind of leaned into the um kind of account manager role, and we actually ensured that our account team is in the US, is in the same kind of time zone as as our clients. Um, and I think with that, we kind of developed a good system of there's the main, the front line, the main point of contact, and obviously there's the delivery team, which are the professionals, and make sure that to deliver, and the account team pulls as they need the professionals from the delivery team, and that has worked quite well. We try to measure that as much as we can too, like NPS, and just generally look at retention of clients, and kind of track on a weekly basis client sentiment, so we know where we as a leadership need to focus. But it's tough, and I think the last few years um, have also been from the craziness of COVID, which for us it was an amazing. We grew 4x during that period, because everyone was online. All these all this funding for startups and companies, and so we leaned into that. And now that it seems brand not as much funding are around, so startups are generally um, looking to spend less and be more kind of careful with their marketing spends. So also kind of understanding what is to align to what are the client's goals, setting expectations really early on with them, because that's also something that we learned, that if we can't sell, we're trying to over deliver and under promised, but also make sure we set that expectations to make sure we can keep clients happy. But it's something that is uh, something that isn't trivial. I think at an agency, at any service business, is something that we work really hard for.
It's really nice that you were able to grow during COVID. I think a lot of agencies had to pivot when that happened because they weren't already doing something that was uh I guess COVID proof. So it's really good to hear that, because I know a lot of agencies went under or had to really completely do a whole loop of being able to figure out what did work for them. So it's really nice to hear. So something that is really important in agencies, I think, is referrals. This is something that I think that everyone's looking for. It's really nice to have a client that or a potential client that has heard of your work and hears good things about it. I think it's always like a better relationship almost 100% of the time. How do you personally kind of hope or almost guarantee that you'll get a referral from a client that you've kind of dealt with before?
Um, that's a good question. Like we do ask when we know that the project was successful, or a client is happy, then we try to leverage that in us for a positive review. Um, and we like to yes, we often get a referral from clients, but I think that the happy clients is probably the best business card, and we really invest a lot in making sure to maintain a good uh, uh, review, and kind of reputation, to make sure our best presence is out there in all the places where um, there's reviews for us. So that's, I think that what we, how we look at it. But, at the end of the day, it's just making sure that clients are happy. And like we've gotten some amazing, referrals. Like, I remember that when we were working with Google at the time, like they referred us to, a few clients, which was, that's probably the best referral that you can get, coming from Google. So, that's definitely something we're, very appreciative for, and try to keep happy clients to keep them coming.
Yeah, that's really do you that's really good, but do you have any kind of what's the word I'm kind of looking for? Do you do any kind of survey or anything that kind of after you have your final product, do you
Yeah.
have any kind of services, yeah, that kind of
We do a quarterly like NPS survey, to keep a pulse on where clients are at. So not necessarily waiting for the end of the project,
yeah.
kind of trying to understand where we are. Um, so I think that gives us a good pulse on where are things. Um, Obviously, also like we have, our SVP clients check in, or myself or my co-founder check in with kind of leadership of our clients to understand how they feel, about engaging with us. Um, yeah, and that gives a good indication, but, sometimes people tell you what you want to hear, and it's not, bulletproof, as we know, but it does, uh, give us, a good indication to at least understand where are things, together with the weekly check-ins I mentioned, where we kind of understand which clients are on track, which clients are not, what's the sentiment, so we can hopefully catch any issues early on, fix them.
Yeah, I mean, it's even if they're telling you what they wanna hear, it's at a detriment of for them because at the end of the day, if they're not happy with the end result and they were giving good reviews throughout the entire process, it almost feels like it's not really your fault or on the agency to be able to read their minds and know that they're unhappy with something. So, um, it's good to be able to check in and kind of have that, I don't know if evidence is the word I wanna use, but, just, be able to say, "Hey, we wanted to make sure that everything was good and we checked in with you and we heard all good things, so, we're just, unsure what's wrong with the end product," and, it's good to be able to say that.
Yeah. I think that like every business, but especially, an agency business, it's all about relationships. So cultivating those relationships, make sure you gain that, trust with the clients. Uh, we used to meet much more with clients in person. Nowadays, we're, remote work. We ourselves are a remote first company. So it's very hard because our clients aren't necessarily like in the same office, many times. But we do try when we can. We have quite a few clients which kind of still have in office QBRs and stuff like that. And I think that goes a long way to kind of sit in the same room and really build those relationships. And then you can, uh, build, relationships that are more than just work, and also develop friendships along the way, and also understand really what's going on. Like, what are you happy with? What aren't you happy with? That things that, uh, are more difficult to gather, just through, Zoom calls, etc. Um, yeah.
I think fostering personal relationships is something that's really important in this business, and it's just something that's nice to do. Like even this podcast is a way for us to make friends as well, so it's really nice to be able to do that. So thank you for coming on. And yeah, I think that's really important for an agency. I think a lot of people feel cared about when make these efforts, especially meeting in person, even if it's something that, isn't possible for you. Video chatting is helpful and different things like that. It's a nice touch. And a lot of people, sometimes they may not have the time, but when they do, it's really nice to be able to hear from the people that they're working with. So that's really great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, just to add to that, also like being, making sure to, be more thoughtful on, for instance, gifting. So, if have a birthday or a special occasion or a client is getting married, I think show them that, it's not just whatever end of year gifts or stuff like that. I know that some big companies have all these formalities. I remember when we worked with a few big companies, you're only allowed to buy them gifts and a certain amount, stuff like that. But I think that's also something that just shows clients that you appreciate them. I used to bring, when I traveled to clients from Israel, so I brought them um, um, things that are, originally from Israel. So there's that kind of local aspect to it. So giving, I think that extra effort and extra touch, I think goes a long way.
That's sweet. And I think that clients definitely really appreciate things like that. So it's really, really good to be able to do that in your line of work. So, this is unfortunately all the time we have today, but I really appreciate you coming on. This has been absolutely incredible. I have learned a lot. That's always, again, I always say this, but that's my favorite part of the podcast. So, I always appreciate that. So, thank you so much for being such a lovely guest. And everyone at home, don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more professionals like Lior on this podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anna. It was worth speaking with you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Fully Managed, brought to you by Penji. Check out the show notes to learn more about today's guest, and to learn more about Penji, the human-first creative subscription service, head over to penji.co. And by the way, if you're still listening, it would mean the absolute world to us if you were to share this podcast with a friend, and of course, subscribe.